Hi Jan, it's Lawrence here at the Ledbetter Golf Academy in Spain. I just wanted to run through a few things that we were doing with your golf swing, but primarily really just to do with contact. So the original here is on the left, and remember you were saying that you were catching them a little bit too thin. So I just want to show you just little elements of this. Okay, I mean it's a good looking swing, very athletic. But if we just come back to impact, you can see the upper body starting to kind of back up and tilt a little bit too much away from the golf ball at this stage. And as a result, we're actually catching the very bottom of the club to the equator of the golf ball, ever so slightly. And you can kind of see, yes, okay, probably a little bit scoopy at that point as well, a little bit toey with the contact. We had one really clear image that we wanted you to try and feel, and it was fairly simple. It was just this idea of, hey, let's pick a line or a groove about a third or halfway up the club, and we're going to try and visualize hitting the equator of the ball, represented by this blue line, up top of where this groove line is. And a simple visual like that, Jan, can produce some wonderful results, and I'll show you this. So that just that simple visual of trying to keep really just hitting higher up on the club face gets you a little bit more stacked, and also gets a little bit more shaft lean coming in, and also promotes a little bit more of a de-loft. Okay, and you can see the stability of the contact there. You can see the low point of the club in the ground, much more in front, and you can see the face obviously a lot more neutral at that stage as well, so a lot more center strike with that. So very, very simple image. It'll help you to get a little bit more stacked with your upper body on top of the lower body, which is something we worked on before. But if I was to show you, the one on the left hand side, this is what the TrackMan numbers were kind of saying. Alright, so you can see the smash factor fairly low, 1.35, alright, so it indicates not quite the centeredness of strike that we'd like. Attack angle is absolutely fine, and the ball speed you can see fairly low. Now if we take hold of the sensation of what you were doing, well, all of a sudden you'll see some differences here in the numbers. So launch angle, which means that you're hitting higher up on the club face, means that you're launching the ball higher. Off the bottom of the club face, it's only going to be less than 14 degrees. But the smash factor starts to improve. So with the same swing, alright, this is just a couple of days apart, you can see 8th of March to the 11th of March, smash factor started to jump, and you got another 5 miles per hour on ball speed, which translates to, effectively more height, and with more speed, well, you're going to carry the ball upwards of around 150 yards as opposed to 130. Alright. Now, a few technical bits that we'd like you to kind of keep hold of would be something very, very simple, and I just wanted to show you this. So this is a nice drill for you to be kind of getting on with. Okay, and let me just play this on. There we go, just making sure we get the right sequence in order. So this is something that you can kind of get on with here. Picture on the left, image on the left. The hips are winding at the same speed as the upper body. Now, I want a full hip turn, however, I just don't like the fact that upper body and lower body are working too much in sync. There should be a little bit more resistance at the start before they start to wind. So what you get is you get a completion or an early turn of your hips, and then from there it's predominantly down to a lift, and an independent movement or a wasted movement of just your arms to the top. Alright, and that causes a few sequencing issues on the way down. So what we wanted to do was to get you in a drill where, feet are together, ball in the center, and you're just going to do mini steps to the right and then mini steps to the left. So what will happen here is when you get this sensation of mini step to the right, as soon as you take the club back, You can see upper body's having to work a little bit more. And by the time you take that mini step, that's your cue to, hey, I can start to wind up. But at this point here, Jan, your hands are already up to midway point in your golf swing, which is great, because then they can start to wind up and sync up nicely to the top of the swing. And that's the image that I'd like you to try and sense, as opposed to this lifting. You can see the thorax going upwards, right, with this lifting, whereas this one here, you'll start to see that it's easier to complete that turn. So that's just some, small sequencing drills that you can start to implement into your routine. As for the driver, I wanted to leave you with a very, very simple image. Here is Louis Oosthuizen. Just pay attention to that setup, okay? And the image that we used was really trying to connect the dots. So we had one dot underneath the ball, somewhere about, I would say, about there, okay? And we had a dot on your club face, which is more towards the toe, and we wanted to try and connect the dots to move upwards. So this is your image. So not only are we swinging upwards through the shot, as you can see there, but we're also trying to get more of a central contact on that club face, and in your case a little bit toey would help, okay? So just keep it dead simple, just try and connect the dots, and you should be able to get that angle of attack upwards. Jan, been a pleasure, best of luck, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.